family? It's your girl, April Love, and we're back with another installment of Just Breathe with April Love. And I am having an amazing day today. I'm so excited. Even though this year is closing and I feel like it was a blur, 2023 owes me nothing. I have been goal setting and I cannot wait to come into 2024 and make it all happen. I think it's the year of manifestation. This year was about intentionality. I was being very intentional about what and who and where I was a part of, what I was a part of. And by doing that, I was able to really kind of align myself with some amazing people, some amazing opportunities, some amazing projects. And so the last quarter is just dedicated to being grateful and excited because closing this year out with a bang is my only goal. So I hope that's the same for you. And I hope you've made a list of all the things you're leaving in 2023 and bringing into 2024. But today is your lucky day because I have an amazing guest on. I discovered her not too long ago, actually. And it's a genre of music I cannot wait for her to break down for us because I am an affirmationist. I gave myself that, whatever you call it officially, that's what I am. I have a book right here. I have a ton of these books on affirmations, okay? And I affirm myself daily, and I can attest to the fact that it has completely changed the trajectory of my life in the sense of understanding my self-worth, understanding what I wanted, and it's okay for me to want and desire things for myself. Um, and to stop being that people pleaser that we are kind of raised to be, especially in the US. People kind of like decide your future for you. This is what you should do. They offer opinions when they're not asked. So you have to come to a place of deprogramming. And I've been really able to do that with my guest music. It has spoken directly to my heart center and helped me to really come to terms with the fact that April has work to do and I'm about to take up space, period. So without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to some. You may already know her. The amazing affirmation music pioneer, Toni Jones.
Thank you for having me, April.
Thank you for being here. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to sit down and talk to you more in depth and about how you got started and how does one just land. I know you on purpose. I ask my guests all the time, are you leaning into purpose? Are you
Yeah.
are you really confident in the fact it your purpose just spills off of you? You know what I'm saying? I don't think you could do the work that you do where you're not
Yeah.
purpose to be there. So
Yeah.
if you can kind of take the guests back a little bit
Yeah.
and let us know where you started and how you ended up here.
Sure. So I started in getting my degree in psychology.
Mhm.
I'm a neuroscience human behavior nerd.
Shoulda
So I
known.
love how the mind works and
Mhm.
how you can use neuroplasticity to change your mind,
Right.
to create a new thought pathology for you to create a new reality for yourself. And so when I got my degree, I knew I didn't want to be a psychologist. I
Mhm.
didn't like the careers that were given to people who got their degrees in psychology. I was like, it would be cool for me to create a coaching business that's based off psychology.
Right.
So I used a lot of that intelligence and education around psychology to help women heal themselves from workaholism by changing their mindset. And so that led me to start working for a nonprofit where I got to be a dream director in Detroit Public High
That's
Schools.
so dope.
It was,
Dream
I'm
director,
telling you, it was
yes.
incredible work because we helped students and staff reimagine the school experience through coaching, through experiences and events. It
Mhm.
was like superhero work. And then so in 20, I'll say the end of 2018, I was like, God, I need an idea. I need something to
Mhm.
help my clients practice wellness on the go because I started to feel like I was burning myself out by
Mhm.
doing all the awareness work for my clients to see their
Mhm.
blind spots or because they didn't know how to really embody or translate into their lifestyle, how
Mhm.
to balance well-being and their work ethic. You know what I'm saying? So I was like,
Mhm.
what if I could create something where they can practice well-being on the go. And from that prayer and meditation, I got affirmation music. I tell the story all the time. Like I Googled affirmation music and that term was not coined. And I was like, oh my goodness, I get to do this.
Right.
And so I went to LA for a month, wrote 9 songs to represent the 9 months it takes a woman to create a child, a human being. And those 9 songs became the album affirmations for the grown ass woman. I wanted women, as soon as they push play, they
Mhm.
start growing the woman of their dreams. And so, yeah. And so
I like
after
growing the woman of their dreams.
growing the woman of their, like, as soon
Ah.
as there's no going back. Like,
Uh-uh.
you start growing immediately.
Yeah.
And so I released that during Women's History Month of 2019, and I haven't looked back.
Wow.
Yeah. And by the end of 2020, I closed down my coaching business and started pursuing affirmation music full time. So I officially started like full time in 2021. I was like, yeah, I'm going to really do this.
What? So
Yeah.
so so is this a was this a God thing with it coming to you after you asked, "Okay, I need an idea. I need."
It was a completely a God thing because I would
Okay.
never get on stage and put a mic
Oh,
and
right.
perform. Like, that was never my idea. I saw myself as being someone that spoke. I can get
Right.
on give me the mic. Let me
Mhm.
tell the tale. I can do that. But like singing and memorizing songs and being an artist and musician, I never
Yeah.
associated that with me. The first few performances, I was like, this is not me. I hate this. I can't believe I'm doing this.
Mhm.
But the more I did it, and then I went through just all the ebbs and flows of, shifting from going from a career to a calling that
Mhm.
just was so uncomfortable for me because I didn't know this world. So it was definitely purpose. It was definitely God led because I would have never chose it. And if I would have knew the path consisted of all the things that it consisted of, I would have never did it. I
Ain't
would have
that the case?
never did it.
That's why God doesn't show us all that, because it's like, come on over
No,
here.
right,
We're
right,
just gonna
right.
show you the first couple steps, and then
Yeah,
you fall in this rabbit hole, and it's like, well, what? You need
right.
this from me too?
Absolutely.
Yes, yeah, but that willingness is why we are here today.
Yes.
You know what though? It's so funny what you said, because that's been a consistent theme this season. Just breathe is the calling. The
Mm.
calling, you have a call in your life, and it's just as simple as just answering it.
Mhm.
Okay, so now that you've answered the call, right?
Mhm.
What did things start to line up for you? Was it like a seamless transition into this new space, or were you like, let me figure this out?
I feel like I had to learn certain lessons for my
Mhm.
character develop to attract the aligned people. And so
Ah, I love
it's a
that.
lot of mistakes that I made. Is mistakes real? You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I made decisions based on the level of thinking that I was at that time,
Mhm.
and choosing the wrong people to be a part of what I'm doing. People who were just zealous about what I was doing, but they weren't actually gifted and in their purpose in doing what they were doing with me,
Right.
like management, maybe assistant, but that's not what their calling is in their life. So
Right.
I made a lot of pivots and decisions that weren't based on the vision for my life, but based on someone's zeal to help me. So I had to learn certain
Mm.
lessons
Mhm.
to mature me to be able to be ready for professional experts that were aligned with this vision, that because I met some dope people.
Right.
I met some power players, but they were not aligned. They didn't
Mm.
get it. You know what I'm saying? So I
Mhm.
feel like once I accepted, once I surrendered,
Mhm.
it was it was gathering all the lessons that I've learned to
Mhm.
be able to be ready for the opportunity for people who are aligned with me to say, okay, y'all ready? Let's go.
Mhm.
And that's continuously happening as I grow and evolve and as my career expands more into the world. It's
Wow.
like the people are magnetizing towards me.
Yeah.
It's really magical,
Yeah, it's
you know?
real. That's a real thing.
Yeah,
That's the law of attraction. So you are
absolutely.
genuinely attracting what you need.
Yeah.
So, all right, all right. I like to really make sure that the audience, my listeners, can identify themselves in the stories.
Hmm.
So I like to kind of break stuff down even
Yeah,
more,
absolutely.
sometimes, just so it's completely clear.
Mhm.
Because I want people to apply this like right away.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm stuck, or I don't know my purpose, or I'm
yeah,
confused, and just stay there. No,
right.
no, you prepare, start getting ready. So with that being said, what would you say? Like, how do you measure that to know that this is a person that you? Is it a discernment? Is it a gut feeling? Is it like these are my people? Knowing who's part of your tribe. How do you identify?
You know what? That is a great question and a complex answer to that
Right.
because everybody has their different lessons that they need to learn,
Right.
and they have to go through their own journey.
Mhm.
But for me, it was it was really understanding where I've been wounded in my life.
Mm.
Daddy wounds,
Yeah.
mother wounds, and understanding how that drove how I connected with people. So when we think about oversharing, overgiving, people pleasing,
Yes.
terms like codependency.
Uh-huh.
A lot of that, what I took pride in, like I'm a good person and I'm a
Mhm.
positive person. A lot of that was rooted in the wounds that I experienced in my childhood,
Mm.
from not being accepted, always being rejected in any group setting. Like I
Really?
never fit in. I was always the eyeball, and it was primarily because of the way I dressed. And so for me now that I've gone
Mhm.
through what I've gone through, now my discernment is how do people feel when I'm around them?
Mhm.
How do they talk? Because everybody got a language now.
Yes.
Everybody know the good vibe language,
Mhm.
love and light and all of that. But how do they
Yeah.
feel? What is their eye contact like? What is their body like? I pay attention,
Mhm.
and I don't do the. I used to do this thing all the time, April, where it's just like, oh my God, I connect with you. Oh, you connect with me, and then we over evaluate the chemistry, and we don't
Mhm.
even know who we each other really
Mhm.
are. We
Yeah.
just kind of fall in love with the idea of the sisterhood,
Yeah.
idea of the relationship and whatnot. And so for me now, it's just like, how do people feel? What comes
Mhm.
up for me when I'm around you? Let me pay attention to what you do, not just what you
Say,
say.
right.
And
Absolutely.
I've heard that from so many people from different generations,
Mhm.
but you really have to give people time to so they show you who they are. And
Yeah.
once they show you who they are, you have to believe
You
them and
have to
act
believe them.
accordingly.
Mhm.
Because now I feel like I have the skill sets to say, oh, I got to keep you 10 circles out or you're 5 circles out because you know what I'm saying? It's like, the
Mhm.
energy, the vibe. So I think
Yeah.
practically speaking, I think people need to just cultivate a relationship with themselves because once you cultivate that relationship with yourself, you have emotional memory of what it feels good, how it feels to feel safe within your own body,
Mhm.
how it feels to feel at peace with your life. Because when you feel that and you're like, I know what it feels to be confident. When other people come into your life, you know if they're matching that same energy or not. But
Right.
you have to start with yourself to have that vibrational memory of what
Mhm.
it feels like to be in line with your well-being, with your
Mhm.
peace, with your confidence and so on. Does that make sense?
Absolutely makes sense. So how can someone attain this? Like what are some, practical things I can do to make sure that I'm in tune with me? You know,
I would say, and I don't like giving people like universal recipes like an infomercial, like
right.
you do this and you'll be just
Yeah.
like me. Like
Yeah, cuz it's
it's
different.
different for
So it varies.
everybody.
Okay, yeah.
Sometimes positivity
Mm,
triggers people.
yeah.
Sometimes affirmation
Yeah.
triggers people. Like, yeah, I don't really believe that, so I'm not. So I
Mhm.
feel like curiosity.
Mhm.
Just imagine, like, just take the time to. So I'll show it how it looks like in real practice. Just you take a deep breath and you just sit with yourself and you say things like curious statements like I'm
Mhm.
open, I'm willing
Mhm.
to see what it looks like for me to trust myself with people. You say statements like that. I'm curious to see how good it can get with people in connections, in professional relationships, in business. I'm worthy of reimagining what it looks like for me to have a healthy personal, social, and professional life with people. I'm
Mm.
curious to know what that looks like, what that feels like. I'll take the time, I deserve to take the time to
Yes.
sit with what that looks like, what that feels like. And I get to scan my social circles now to see who fits. So
Yeah.
it's just like I would say curiosity, and I'm saying it very articulate, but
Yeah.
I think anybody can create their own dialogue, their
Mhm.
own affirming dialogue through curiosity when you just take the time, take a deep breath. You know the
Mhm.
BS you've been with
Yes.
people. We got that down pat.
Down.
We know how people we know that. But what we
Mhm.
don't know is how good people can get. Like the parts that we don't even know
Mhm.
that humans can activate when it comes to love and generosity and purity. And so I feel like everyone can sit and say, you know what, I deserve to see what that can look like in business,
Right.
in romance. I'm going through it now in romance. I have to unlearn a lot of
Oh,
stuff.
wow.
That's a whole other conversation.
I'm
That
like,
means,
"Oh, really? Let's
listen, you
lean
want to
I'm
just
lean"
breathe? Let's breathe on that.
Okay, seriously.
Child. So I would say definitely allow
Thought about
curiosity
mm,
to lead you in
I
that
love that.
arena, because we're not curious on how shady people can get. We
Yeah.
know that.
Mm-mm.
So allow curiosity to lead you.
Yeah, that helps you to really channel your inner child too. Because
Yeah.
when you were curious, when you didn't think you know everything, and you had
Yeah.
all these questions like, "But why?"
Yeah.
Okay, this is it gets, "But why? Why can't I put
Hmm.
my hand on here? Why can't I touch
Yeah.
this?" And it leaves you to know so much more. But we get so
Yes.
cynical, and our ego steps in.
Pessimistic. Yep.
Yes, and it's just like, who have we become? I want to go back to that state of curiosity. I
Yeah.
love that. I
Hmm.
love that. That's real good. I feel like when you're talking sometimes, like, it should be like cue music. Like like the soundtrack, it should be like, you should not be talking when there's no music.
I love that.
Okay. I'm just like, I don't know. We need some sound bowls, some harps, some
Right.
something.
That's so cute. I love it.
Right. So talk to me about your journey personally into affirmation music. So, what do you do? Like, what's a day in the life like when you in studio recording stuff? How does that? Is it typical to like a regular music industry artist, or do you have a certain kind of like tactics that you use for your specific music
Well, I'm
style?
going to say, just on a foundational level,
Yeah.
it is practicing my music in my personal life.
Okay. Oh.
Like, it's literally, what am I saying to myself in my personal life?
Mm.
Some of my music that I've created is very triggering to how I've grown, because I'm like, I don't believe in it no more,
Mhm.
or it's triggering other things that I didn't know I needed to be aware of about myself.
Right.
So I would say, when it comes to creating my music,
Mhm.
I'm always going back to my personal, raw, behind the scenes, behind the affirmation musician, Toni Jones. Like, that is where, like, how am I talking to myself about my
Mhm.
finances, about my love life, about my mental health? And how is that, not only what am I saying to myself, but
Right.
how is that translating into my habits and my
Mhm.
choices? And what lifestyle am I creating from those habits and the choices that come from that type of self talk? Because literally, my music comes from me being raw and honest with myself.
Mm.
So, you asked about the studio. So the studios are different. It varies, because, and I love my relationship with the studio. I love it. I love it so much, because I've had different experiences
Mhm.
where it's someone can play a beat, and I just sit with and like, what does this beat feel like? What emotions are these beats, these sounds activating? If this song was
Mhm.
personality, what would it say? So I
Mm.
get to activate my skill and gift in emotional intelligence
Mhm.
and being able to feel like a G. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my genius, is
Mhm.
feelings and emotions. And so I get to exercise that when I listen to music and say, okay, how can I translate this, what this song is saying, into affirmations? And then the other thing is, I like to be a mad scientist. Sometimes I'm just like, I want to say this, I want to say this is what's happening. And
Mhm.
then I create a whole world for each song.
Oh, wow.
Each song gets a color, a texture, a vibe, an image, a lifestyle, and I describe each one of them. So I flirt with different ways of how I approach
Mhm.
creating my music in the
Right.
studio, but it's all based on what feels truer. So yeah,
Hmm. So that's your process.
that's my process.
I
It
love that.
always starts with feeling, though. How I feel in my personal life,
Mhm.
how I feel what the music is saying,
Mhm.
and then how I feel about the words that I want to say.
Wow. So you've only been doing this a short time, really, just since like the pandemic?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, but you made so many strides, and I've personally been to events and the room was packed, so you're resonating with people. What are they
Wow.
saying? What are your fans? What do they
Y'all know,
say?
you know what? Someone said to me recently. I just released the the affirmation mixtape
Mhm.
and put
Loving it.
affirmations on Andre 3000's new
Yes.
album. And someone said to me, "Thank you for introducing me to my soul for the first time ever in my life." That was like blew me
What?
away.
God.
Those type of statements, it makes me feel like I am so in service to something bigger than
Yeah, bigger than
my
you.
mind can even
Mm-mm.
think of,
Right.
that I can't afford to give up. So whatever I have to do to surround myself with systems or structures or
Yes.
people or
Mm-hmm.
habitats to be able to sustain myself,
Yeah.
and my well-being that's required in this
Mm-hmm.
this path of music and calling, I have to do that.
Yeah.
There is no more shrinking myself. There is no more
None.
not asking for what I need. I have to, because it's people out here that really don't know their souls.
They don't. They have no idea. They're floating in the wind, I always say, because they don't know their purpose. They don't know even what to lean into. They, like you said, like they don't know. I mean, I'm you know, a soul, the spirit, living in the body, having a human experience, all of the things that that we're told. But people, everything is superficial. The majority of the people don't really, really, really understand their purpose
Yeah,
and why they're here. So I
yeah,
think it's so important for people like you in non-traditional spaces outside of the pulpit or
yeah,
actually speaking, getting these
yes,
downloads directly from God and sharing it with the people because that's where the freedom is. That's where we're opening our minds to the possibility of being able to manifest the life that we want. But if you had not said yes, the people that are signed in and tapped into you,
absolutely.
what they're waiting.
I grew up in church,
Yeah.
and when
Let's
I was
talk about
learning,
it.
yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
So I grew up in church, and when I learned about, as a kid, everything, you're
Yeah.
so innocent, right?
Right.
And so when I thought about Jesus as a kid, I thought of him like a superhero,
Right.
like a Batman,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. I'm like, wow, he was walking on water. He
Right.
was turning water into wine. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to be like that. I want to do miracles. But
Right.
there was no literacy around being a miracle worker. So I was like, oh,
Okay.
maybe that's just not what we do.
Right.
And so that was only something Jesus could do. So for me, I became like a groupie for Jesus, not in a religious context, but
Mhm.
as a like, man, I look up to this person. And so for me, I think that Jesus serves as an example of what it looks like to be in service to humanity. You activate your own supernatural power and
Mhm.
gifts
Mhm.
to share with the world and serve through that. I'm not here to entertain you. Those
Mm-mm.
gifts are not just here to entertain you
Right.
and numb you from your life, and give you
Mhm.
an escape to just be away. No, that's not. My gifts are here to inspire you to activate your own truth, your own spirit. And then
Yeah.
from that place, you get to it's like contagious. I'm here to allow that vibration of love to go viral.
Mm.
That's my purpose. And I do that through loving myself. And so to hear
Vibration of
comments,
love.
go to my YouTube and I read my comments. I
Mhm.
go to my Instagram, I read my comments. I'm like, yeah, I'm in that pocket. That pocket of purpose.
Yeah. The pocket
I'm
of
in that pocket
purpose.
of purpose. And then
Absolutely.
watching other people do it is just like, oh my gosh. And
Mhm.
here I am still a work in progress.
Right.
Sometimes I be looking at my personal life and I be like, girl, you a little raggedy. You a little raggedy.
Ah!
It ain't looking too affirming over here. But
Mm-mm.
it's being gentle with my process and saying, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
nobody gave me a instructional book on how to
Absolutely.
navigate Toni Jones.
Mm-mm.
Like I'm learning as I go, as I grow.
Exactly.
And so I think people should take that in and saying, you know what, I'm here
Mhm.
for something more than this just about me. I have a gift.
Absolutely.
And when you push play on affirmation music,
Mhm.
it's kind of like a cheat code to see where that gift is lying within you, you
Wow.
know?
Oof. So, how big do you see affirmation music
Oh,
becoming?
my biggest vision is having a beautiful, regulated nervous system. That is what I want no matter what happens with
Okay.
affirmation music.
Mhm.
I know the trappings. At least I have an observation of the
Yeah.
trappings that happen to artists who
Mhm.
have God-given talents.
Mhm.
They get attacked and trapped in so many ways. And so for me, my prayer is that I have a beautiful regulated nervous system throughout
Mhm.
this journey
Mhm.
in affirmation music. Now, on a professional creative sense, I see myself doing affirmation sound bath activations for the NBA, for the NFL, for an Amazon staff. I
Mhm.
see myself opening up concerts where I do an affirmation to one of the artist's beats and closer. I see myself doing experiences with other affirmation musicians where
Mhm.
we don't just go on tour, but we give people experiences.
Mhm.
I see myself touring living rooms where
Mhm.
I do these affirmation experiences in different people's homes. Like I have so many visions and so many. I feel like I'm pregnant with like 100 children because I have these
Ah,
ideas. I'm like,
right.
let me get the funding, give me
Mhm.
the funding, and watch what I do.
Right.
But I'm being patient with
Mhm.
my process and
Yeah.
my path because I know it's all gonna happen in due time. But that's
Yes.
just a little bit of what I see. But I
That's a
really
little
just a little bit of what
bit?
I see. But I definitely feel like
Mhm.
my whole being of what I'm
Mhm.
doing as a businesswoman
Yeah.
and as an artist and as a woman of service, is
Mhm.
to integrate entertainment and wellness in
Yeah.
a way that is appealing to the
Yeah.
modern world.
That is so important. Two huge spaces.
Huge
I can't
spaces.
imagine life without music. I mean,
It's everywhere.
it's everywhere.
Elevators,
I
grocery
mean, everywhere.
stores, commercials.
Yes, I'm me and my sleep sounds. It's just
Yeah.
24/7 with me.
Yeah.
And then in the space of wellness, we cannot dismiss that. So the marriage of the two,
Yeah.
hmm,
Yeah.
that's gonna be
I'm
really
curious to see how
special.
that
Really
unfolds.
special.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the next wave because it's a shift coming.
It's a
So it's a
shift.
part of this wave, a part of these people that have had their reign long enough.
Hmm.
We've people have come under the wrath of so many of these people that have been like in position for years and years, and it's a changing of the guard.
Hmm.
So Tony, I hope you're ready to take your rightful position up, up
Yes.
in there, up in
I'm
there.
taking it step
Yes,
by step.
absolutely.
Step by step.
I love that. So share what you have coming up.
So I
Anything, a
have an
meeting?
experience for New Year's Eve.
Nice.
It's called the Living Room Experience with
Okay.
Toni Jones.
Yes.
It'll be at the Healing Environment in Smyrna, Georgia,
Hmm.
from 8:30 till around, let's say 12:30.
Okay.
And it's for people who they're just kind of disenchanted with the social scene. They're
Hmm.
just like, I don't want to be out too much. I don't want to people too much. I just want
Hmm.
to be cozy and at home. This is for them because I'm
Hmm.
that way. And then it's also for people who do like the social scene, but they don't see nothing that's really worth going out for.
Right.
So this is the space for them to experience community, connection, some entertainment, some surprises, and just let's just say a flow of enjoyment. Because I
Yes, I love that.
curate the flow. It'll be food, some warm foods that make people feel like, man, I feel like I'm at home. I did it in
Mm.
Detroit last year.
Oh,
So
nice.
I'm
For
doing
New
it
Year's.
here for
Okay.
New Year's Eve. So I'm doing it
Oh.
this year here in Atlanta. So that's happening. People can find me on Instagram at I am
Mhm.
Toni Jones, YouTube. I also have a membership group
Oh,
that's
yeah.
called the Affirmation Living Room.
How do they
And
get access to that?
then go to my website,
Okay.
iamtonyjones.com, Tony with an I.
Okay.
Google
Perfect.
me.
Yes, Google her. You will see it all pop up. And make sure you check out tell them where they can find the most recent, the mixtape.
Yes, the New Blue Sun
Yes.
Affirmations, where I put affirmations over Andre 3000's new flute album. Shout out to him for the
Mhm.
success of that right now,
Yes.
because it is hip hop history, and I just
Yeah.
love to acknowledge him for what he just did this year for us.
Yes.
But you can find that on YouTube. It's
Nice.
exclusively on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now this portion, I just have a couple quick fire questions for
Okay, I
you.
love that.
Just to get, just to stir the pot a little bit, because my audience
Okay.
is very inquisitive and curious as well. So
Okay.
as am I. So I just want to know what you think about a couple things. So what are your thoughts on the church from a religious, I think, perspective? Questioning, manifestation and law of attraction and things that are like universal principles as being not of God or something that we should not be partaking in if we are
They
believers.
sound atheist. They sound atheist and they sound anti-self, like they don't believe they're made in the image of God
Whew.
because God spoke the world into existence. So if you don't think you can
Yes.
speak into existence, you don't believe that you're made in the image of God.
Whew. Mic drop. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. You're made in the image of God. You can manifest.
Yeah. Be like
Yes.
God.
Be like
That's your
God.
blueprint. It's in your technology to
Right.
move in that way.
If you were mentoring someone who was, I don't know, Toni Jones 20 years ago,
Oh
and
gosh.
she said, I don't really know my purpose. What can I do to, really find it and really make sure that I'm making good decisions for me?
I would say that no matter what you do, there really is no right or wrong. All of it is the ingredients to the recipe of your greatness. Just follow what you enjoy the most and surround yourself with wise women. I would tell Toni Jones 20 years ago that
Yeah.
because then it loosens your mind from always trying to strategize
Mhm.
the outcome. You're always
Right.
trying to make decisions, but when you look at your life,
Mhm.
no matter if you made bad decisions or good decisions, everything ends up working out. You only get cuter, wiser, sexier, and
Yes.
smarter. You know what I'm saying?
I
So it's
received
just
all
like
that.
so
Slimmer.
slimmer, you know? So it's just like, don't
Uh,
trip,
nice.
you know?
I love that. Don't trip. Don't over. That's what we do. Because I
Yeah.
mean, there's
Even
the
now.
yeah, especially this generation too. The
Mhm.
the 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 babies, like they have no coping skills. Everything is just like they stressed out so bad,
So bad.
not paying one bill.
Mhm. Mhm.
Stressed out. These kids are
Mhm.
stressed out.
They are.
So they need to. So yeah, I love that. I'm grateful that you are showing up in the world as you are.
Thank you.
Your music is touching lives and it will continue to do so. I cannot wait for people to experience you live.
Oh, I cannot
Oh
wait.
my gosh.
That's gonna be a
Yes.
vibe.
That's sound bathing and just the meditative practices that we as a marginalized community have not been really exposed to.
Mhm.
Even the ones who are middle classes, they're not necessarily we weren't given a lot of healing modalities, which are rich in our history.
Very
And
much
it's not like
so.
we had access to the hospitals and everything, so we had to have the medicine women and the medicine man or whatever in communities, especially in the Caribbean and things like that.
Mhm.
So I'm so happy that we're getting back to a place of really knowing ourselves.
Yes.
And I think affirmation music plays a big role in that.
I
So
believe
I
that.
can't wait to see you align with the others.
Yeah.
Because this shift is about to be
Oh, I'm
crazy.
here for it.
I am so here for
So
it.
here. I'm so
I
excited.
am too.
And I can tell it's happening because the level
Yeah.
of preparation that I've had to do this year, it's been like,
Yes.
it's like,
Yeah.
wow,
I'm like,
okay.
girl, I don't have enough juice fasting and vitamins to keep up with the visions I have. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
A lot of us are saying that.
Mm-hmm. 100
Yeah.
babies.
100 babies. The 100 babies
Well,
generation.
we'll
We
run
all
around here.
pregnant.
We'll be midwives for each other. Yes.
Yes.
But I've enjoyed, as always, chatting with you.
Yes.
Is there anything else you want to share with the people?
Have fun. Have
Yes.
fun, y'all. So much can get so serious with everything that's
Mhm.
going on in the world. It's just like it can really like drown you in despair. So make sure that
Mhm.
you just give yourself space to have fun in the midst of it all, even if it's just a
Yes.
little bit.
Yes.
Just find your enjoyment to love what is right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Toni Jones.
Thank you, April Love.
Well, thank you for being with us today. And thank you, Toni Jones, again for being here. We're so excited. I'm so excited for the audience to connect with you. Those that don't know you already, make sure you go stream her on all platforms and make sure that you download and subscribe and share this episode and all the episodes on Just Breathe. We do this just for you. We want to show you how to make all of these wonderful things, all these modalities, all of these healing practices a part of your everyday life, applicable to your everyday life so you can have the life of your dreams because you deserve it and it's yours for the asking and for the execution of things that you're supposed to be doing. So lean into your purpose. Take a deep breath. Let it out. Right where you landed is where you are. So I would suggest that you take this moment to turn on you some Toni Jones affirmation music. Take a look at that woman or man in the mirror and really, really assess where you are today and where you want to see yourself in the next few years and work on it. We got your back. We'll see you on the next episode. Take it easy, family.